welcome to day 2 of Monetization Week. I'm Vahe, the founder of Strategic Publishing. And just to give a quick background for those attendees that weren't here on the first day, we came up with the concept of Monetization Week after hearing from many publishers how, particularly in the last quarter of 2023 and the beginning of this year, how many of them were struggling with a drop in revenue. We didn't see in the market a dedicated series of events focusing on this. So we sort of put this program together, and graciously Geozo, who's one of our key principal sponsors of the event, came to us, agreed to join with us, and they have a dedicated session that will talk through a little bit more about what it's about shortly. Before we jump into that, just to give some housekeeping, essentially any questions that you have, we're going to make this as natural and free-flowing as possible. So Ivo's graciously will be trying to jump in if we haven't covered if there's a part of the presentation that we'll cover, which you're asking for, we will continue on. But if there's a question within that section of the part of the presentation that he has, he'll be jumping through and trying to answer your questions on the spot so that we can help you get actionable takeaways firsthand. So yeah, as per the subject of day 2, it's about the myths and facts of native advertising. We've got Ivo Bobal, he's the country manager for Romania from Geozo. And with that, Ivo, I'll pass it over to you.
All right, Ryan, thanks. First of all, that's a great idea to organize something that is directly for publishers. I congratulate you and everybody in organizing this, because it's something that the market needs, and my own personal view, and I'm happy to be here and answer or address any questions there might be. Let me should we start? Can I open up my presentation?
Absolutely.
Right.
Let's get started.
Let's get started then. All right. And at this moment, I'm sharing my screen. So hello again, everyone. Welcome here. My name is Ivo Bobal. I am the Publisher Development Manager for Geozo for Romania. We're going to discuss various topics about native and monetization in general, because, well, first of all, it's Monetization Week. So on the topic of presenting myself, let me present what Geozo is and who is. So Geozo is a native advertising platform that allows publishers to monetize their website traffic and facilitates advertisers to promote their products or services on thousands of websites. Well, basically, we all should know that since it's Monetization Week. Now, since I specialize in publisher development, today our focus is going to be more of how publishers can leverage native ads for effective monetization. We'll explore a couple of, and you're going to see, before we get into it, we're going to see the exact topics that we're gonna point out. Now, why native ads and why monetization is, and by the way, if you have any question, feel free to drop them in the comment section. Vahe will Vahe will facilitate the questions to come through. However, if those questions are not answered in the meantime while I have this presentation, I'm hoping that I'm able to answer your questions at the end of my presentation. So in terms of why native ads, I'm going to be myth-busting some of the most common things. Now, like I said, the reason that we're going to do it is not because I work for a company that solely focuses on native ads, but because I've been working in the field since 2009, and it has been proven to be irreplaceable for any news media and basically any other content website. In terms of, and by the way, also let's do this. Like, please let me know how many years or what is your experience in native ads, in implementation, monetization, just so that I know how in depth I should go with some of the explanation later on. All right. So what is native ads and what is native advertising? This is how it looks, basically. The pictures with the lemon and the lady. Native ads is 90% of the time is a pay-per-click ad. This is why it's recommended, for example, for performance digital advertising, because while native ads' main purpose is to drive leads and sales, it can also generate brand awareness. On the subject of monetization, this is how it works. I mentioned pay-per-click just a few seconds ago, and this is the monetization model. The publisher gets paid for every click that is happening on its website. So, and that happens like there's a code that you implement on your website. The advertiser creates an ad and launches the campaign. Ad goes to moderation team and appears on the website. Users see the ad, gets intrigued and clicks. Publishers receive commission for every click. And you wouldn't believe how many clicks there are. I mean, some of my publishers have crazy numbers per day. It's a joy when you see the amount and how well it works. So in terms of our topics for today, this is our schedule. These are the myths we're gonna debunk and actually talk about. So we have native ads, overload website, can be blocked, are deceptive, supporting SEO efforts, more profitable than banners, not trusted content, improve product reputation, new form of advertising, maybe. They all look the same. And why is it unpredictable? Now, in terms of, and diving right in, this is one of the most common and one of the most heard in the industry, that the native ads tend to overload website and that they don't mix well with the content. I should be the first one to let you know that that is false. And this is a common misconception because in reality, it's the other way around. Native ads are built to look exactly like content. They are built to create engagement, and they are meant to look like part of the website. So they are integrated, and they are basically, well, meant to be as natural as any other content. So when it comes to visuals with native ads, do we have spots where they perform the best? Because there's a strategic approach in this placement, so we avoid overload of the website, diminished performance, and that's why we recommend each format to be implemented in a certain way in certain places. For example, spots under article, because the spot on the article or in the middle of the article are the places where you get most of the engagement. So those are really good in terms of performance for native ads instead of the banners. However, we are referring to the CDR of that particular place that can generate in that area. Now, because these are native and they blend in really well on the end of the article placement, a CDR can be 5 to 6%, for example. So your calculated revenue for CPM based on the clicks would be far higher than from a banner perspective. And well, you all know that. Now is when it comes to banners, they most likely will perform on the sidebar and in the header on the homepage, etc. But these, for example, these are not places where you should put any of the native implementations or any of the pay-per-click implementation whatsoever. Myself and my colleagues and any other Geozo managers are here to provide any recommendations if publishers are unsure or where should they place it, or they need help into reorganizing the structure of a website so that it monetize the traffic that it receives the best way they can. Now going into myth number 2, native ads can be blocked, and you're all gonna like this because there's some facts that are just undeniable, and it is true. Now here's the thing: from the advertiser's perspective, their promoted products or services are missing at around 32% of users that have internet connection due to them having some sort of ad blocking software installed on their browser, phone, or device. So because native ads can be blocked because it is viewed as content and not as advertisement, that's how you can reach, from advertisers' point of view, you can reach far more users than before, which also in terms means that the publishers can monetize the users and the traffic the users generate that until now they didn't. And if we look at the statistics from eMarketer, it's like $54 billion in lost advertising revenue, which is, well, as it says, approximately 8% of the total projected digital ad spend of 695 billion. This is a cipher for 1 year, so we're not there to be these are not quarterly numbers, these are yearly numbers. Going to myth number 3, that native ads are deceptive. This is, well, of course it is false, and there's a fine line between how a related article works and how a native advertising placement looks. You have the examples in the GIF that is rolling on the right side. Sometimes they blend in seamlessly so well that they might not be recognized as being ads, which leaves readers unaware that they are in fact clicked on an ad. However, like 15 years ago, we used to say write ads, like write the headline and the description as a story so that people will click on it. And now we do that. So when we do that, people don't see it as an ad, they see it as an information. So they are willing to click on it because it is well written and they integrate smoothly within the user experience, and thus native ads can capture the attention and foster the content interaction far better than any other advertising model. To lower the deception I was talking about, that there was a fine line. We encourage everybody to use headlines and description that provides the end user with the valuable information so that they know they are clicking on something and would not be misled or would not feel misled about clicking on something they didn't want. And you wouldn't want that either on your side to be deceived. So number four, native advertising supports SEO effort. This is true. And why is it true? Well, because you're basically promoting any product that has hyperlinks, which can be seen by a lot of search engines as being live backlinks. Live backlinks on thousands of websites will actually increase your trusted score. increased links, mentions, coverage, sharing, etc. And of course, it will boost your organic traffic. The only thing you need to do is go into your analytics and have a look at the before the campaign and while you are running it. On to myth number 5. Banners are more profitable than native ads. Now, in this term, this is false. However, let's make things straight. We are not replacing banners. We are complementing your revenue. With banners, and we discussed this in the myth number 1. With banners, you have certain placements where they should be, they are meant to be there. And because we have, and if you move them around too much, you have the effectiveness that what we call today banner blindness, where users tend to basically ignore unconsciously any banner style ads. Then when this started happening, the industry got creative because, well, we had to, and that's how we started using interactive banners. They are awesome, they do their work, but they come at a cost, and not everybody's willing to come up with a campaign like that. Additionally, as I mentioned, ad blocking software will limit your revenue coming from banners. Now, anyway, both of these have challenges. Banners should be placed on top of the page and should be kept there. That's where they produce the most. Galleries, for that matter, if you have a website that has a big gallery and the website just reloads every time somebody clicks next, that's a place for the banners. It's not a place for native ads. So having in mind all of these details, these are facts that in terms of native ads, because of everything we have learned until now, the CTR will be higher. It is non-intrusive because it blends well with the content. Takes up popular space like mid articles, right? Because I mentioned mid article and end of the article are the most profitable. They are adaptable to a website's design. No matter how you want it, you can customize it. It's ad blocking resistant, and it's overcoming banner blindness because it's different, right? Myth number 6, and you would not believe what crazy statistics comes out of this one. So Time Magazine actually made a study among 17,000 Gen Z, Gen X representatives, and millennials, for that matter, that showed that 92% of everybody questioned believed brands have expertise on topics and they add value to content. 57% of them think that custom content means brands put more thought into being creative and interesting, which means a higher reach and more diverse, attracting some user through a different way instead of the traditional one. And then on number 3, 56% of them like brands that share something cool or teaching rather than just selling, which means that through content creation and diversifying your performance portfolio, performance ad campaign is very well received. People like it. Myth number 7. Native ads improve product reputation. And I think we all agree that this is true. And this is why. Advertising on premium media can give trust to the advertised product. Now, everybody knows that if you see a glass of water being advertised on a very high, very well-known, valuable, and trusted media source, that product's gonna gain a lot of positive reactions, or it will be shaped in a positive light, because any respecting world-renowned media or nationally renowned media house would certainly not promote any products with a bad image or bad reputation. On self-serving platforms like ours, advertisers they are not in direct contact with the advertiser, so the reputation checking lies within the platforms themselves. I cannot speak for others, but Geozo has a human team behind that moderates every single ad that goes out. With that in mind, we are going to myth number 8, that the native ads is a new form of advertising. And well, this is very interesting actually, and you're gonna find out immediately. Just one more question before, and I see that they already have some questions, but I do have one more questions for you. How old do you think native ads is? And when I mean how old, I mean think of it in terms of years, not months. So let's just as a general knowledge. Let me see if any of you knew, because it took me a while to learn and to actually find this out. That native ads is not a new form of advertising. Well, everybody knows, I don't know, banners, pop-up, push notification, and so on. You will be very pleased to find out that this is as old as 1895, where a company that we know now as John Deere, back then Deere and Company, launched, so basically they launched a magazine called The Furrow, where they began to publish useful articles for farmers. These articles suddenly were mentioning Deere and company's tools that could make their farming easier. And these numbers are crazy. Well, beside the fact that they did sell a lot, they had 4 million subscribers. Now, 4 million subscribers is a pretty huge number even for today's standards. Like, I don't know, let's say an influencer with 4 million subscribers, that's a lot. I mean, everybody would like to go there. On to myth number 9. All native looks the same. And I do have a favorite, and this is mine, because it is false due to one thing. All the cars have 4 wheels, right? Some of them have 6. Okay, yeah, but those are SUVs. Same thing is when you're looking at native ads. Sometimes you cannot distinguish one from another, but that's where the car industry is similar to ours. This is how they look because this is how they work. Now, you can of course customize them, and that's it. That is one of the things that we encourage a lot, because like in cars, you want a different interior or exterior, or you just want to stand out, and that is a very good thing. We do that, and the results are worth making the change. Now, for example, the trending one in this very example increased the CTR by 2% in most of the implementation where we ever put them. So I encourage you to try it, to be different. And for example, a gradient. If you put a gradient on a picture, the human eye is trained to look at the brightest spot in that picture. That's why gradient is used. So I encourage you to try these implementation, because at a very small change of a custom CSS code, you can do a lot of beautifying filters towards these ads so that they can get a lot more engagement than they already have. Being different makes the world go around. On to myth number 10. The revenue with native ads is unpredictable. Now, this is of course false, because if you know the statistics of your website and you understand the dynamics of the market and you and the seasonality of your traffic, the revenue calculation is not a problem, and it brings certainty to pay-per-click advertisement. Our team can easily estimate an income or even provide website analysis, monetization plan recommendations, and ads rearrangement to maximize your revenue. I mentioned this in myth number 1. It's all we need is data, and then we can calculate very easily the outcome. And we can, of course, like I said, recommend you to implement in one way or another, higher or lower, in a way so you can maximize your profits and revenue. That was a very fast way to go through 10 myths of native advertisement. Sure, I'm gonna address the questions now. What I would like to summarize on the facts is that the native ads combine well with other, and they don't overload the website. They bypass ad blocking software. They are providing useful information from the very beginning in the headline and in the description. They perform better than banners, especially at the end of the article and mid-article where they are destined to be implemented. They are appreciated by youngsters, as proven from the Time Magazine survey. They do improve product reputation because, well, it makes sense to once you see it everywhere, it's and if it is a trusted source, of course, you're gonna have improved product reputation. It is an established format. It has historical roots, so it's not something new. People were doing this more than 100 years ago. It is very customizable, like I showed you, and that the revenue can be estimated. Thanks very much for your attention, and if you would like to receive this presentation, let us know. And now we can go on to addressing some of the questions you might have, but I do need to make a short break.
No worries. Thanks so much for the succinct session. It's very useful statistics and tidbits, which I'm going to go through some of my questions as well. At the moment, yeah, we just had more feedback and comments. So great for thank you to SB, which was great. Then Naval said hi. Let's see, I think we've got another question. Okay, we've got one question from Mario. Yeah, sorry, before we go to Mario, Ariane, yes, definitely we can request copies for the presentation. Maybe maybe you can share your screen one more time.
Yeah, sure.
Page, so we can get that there. But whilst you do that, Mario has a question. What kind of withdrawal methods do you have for publishers?
Oh, let me just. I'm going to.
Yeah,
I'm going to share.
Let's do one by one,
my
sorry.
screen later on. So, thanks, Mario, for that question. In terms of withdrawals, we have wire bank transfer, direct debit card, Revolut, PayPal, and crypto. So that's hopefully that answers your question. I mean, we wanted to diversify the options, and these ones, while they are addressing the most common ways of payments, we also wanted to take a step forward and add crypto to it.
Awesome. Thanks, Ivo. I'll let you share the screen, and I'm going to launch a quick poll for our attendees just while you share the screen.
All right. Let me just adjust it again.
Cool. So everyone, there's probably we have 5 minutes to answer the poll. 3 quick questions. Some of the initial ones that we had relating to your experience on native advertisement. and some quick short answers as to why maybe you're not using it, and maybe some examples you've seen that work well. It'll be a good conversation point, particularly for the ones that work well, so we can pick Evo's brain on that. Cool.
Well, we have somebody that was over 5 years uses native ads.
Yes, I think it was Mac. He said that initially in the comments as well, for sure. Okay. So that's some short answers as well. I'll just without disclosing the names, I'll see if I can share some of those as well.
Well, over 5 years is leading the pool. That's something. How do you say it? I'm very happy to talk to somebody that has that many years in the industry. First of all, because when you talk with experienced, you're comparing apples to apples, which is fantastic in your industry, and they can come back with a feedback that is really constructive into making yourself go forward.
Indeed, I agree. I wish I could, for some reason, I'm trying to see if I can extract some of the questions, the answers, because we've got roughly 6 and 7 responses for the respective questions.
Yeah.
But if anyone wants to actually share their responses as well, feel free to raise your hand, and would love you just to maybe share your experience as well. That'll be maybe another way we can address that. But let me see. Okay, we've got another question in the meantime. Mac has a question. Do you have recommendation for ethical codex for publishers, how to use and promote native advertisement on their web pages?
Can you please repeat that? I don't think I understood correctly.
No worries. Max says, do you have a recommendation for ethical codex for publishers, and how to use and promote native advertisement on their web pages? So, guessing ethical codex for publishers is, you can have a quick look now, the website.
I think he's referring to the type of content, maybe. In terms of ethics, well, it's very simple and easy. What we do on our end is we apply the law of the country and the European Union, or the Latin America for that matter, or Indonesia. So first of all, you apply in terms of ethics, you apply the laws of the country you operate in. Second of all, you need to respect the AIB standard or IAB standards. I don't know how each and every one uses that short acronym. So in terms of ethics, you of course make sure that you respect the ethics by using the law and the general rules of the internet. If this was what Max wanted, then this is my answer. In terms of promoting, well, we need more webinars like this, first of all. Second, we need quality content and a steady flow of traffic, because quality content will bring up more users being exposed to native advertising themselves will in turn produce more, and native advertisement would be more familiar as a form of advertising. Now, for example, I didn't mention this, but in terms of performance advertising, I think the media planners should definitely include native ads in their plan, because while it's pay-per-click, it also generates brand revenue. Yeah, sorry, not brand revenue, brand awareness. So And when you have 32% of the people that are using some kind of ad blocking software, you're missing out on quite a lot of the audience that you could normally reach. So let's have quality websites, then we have everything else. And let's have media planners start planning native ads in their plan, so they have, first of all, they have a higher reach, and second of all, they would while building leads and sales, they also are building brand recognition.
Perfect. Thanks, Sipo. Appreciate it.
Let me stop my share so I can see the questions. Or
Sorry, I'm not gonna say this name properly, and I apologize. Burgueno, are all native ads resistant to ad blockers, or only those from Geozo?
as far as I know, most of the native ads are resistant to ad blocking software, because, like I said, it is viewed as a content, not as an advertisement themselves. So, as for what I know, all should fall under the same category.
Perfect, thanks. Maria asks, do you accept traffic worldwide?
Well, actually, yes, we do. There is this. How do I say this? Current. So we do. That's the main answer. Thank you, Mari, for your question. We do accept worldwide traffic. Currently, there's our advertisers have increased demand for website traffic on certain geos, for example, for European countries, Asia, and Latin America. But if we have a constant flow, like I said, we have constant flow of new advertisers. So most likely, an audience from any country or niche, for that matter, will be in demand. So if you have any ideas or you want to try and test something, feel free to reach out to me or any managers, and let's see and negotiate an individual condition.
Perfect. Thank you for your question, Mario.
That was actually a good question. I was hoping I would receive one like that.
Awesome, yeah, because I think even in my experience across, whether it's native or programmatic or any other type of advertising channel, there's a tendency to give preference to, they call it inverted commas T1, whether it's US and those traffic, because they probably might get a higher CPM. But it's good to know that, you know, irrespective of the country publishers from, they could potentially monetize as well. I mean, is there an idea of maybe the difference on the countries, or again, sorry, I believe you said that it's more about coming up with an agreement with you guys on a one-to-one based on what you think the
Yeah,
potential is, right?
that's way better, because then we can have a look at individual demand, because well, like I said, we have a high demand for Europe, for example, Europe, Indonesia, and Latin America, but that doesn't mean that we don't have demand for any other countries that are not in these geos.
Perfect. I've got one of my questions that I've saved up to ask you, sir, because I saw the myth number 4 about SEO. Obviously, me being an SEO,
Oh.
I've got to pick your brain on this one.
Yeah.
You mentioned that it does help with SEO besides the on-page engagement, more about being exposed on many websites. Does the placement of those native ad spots include like a real sponsor link attribute, or were you trying to say that it doesn't include, it's just a normal link attribute in terms of the placement of the ad?
In terms of the placements, well, you have, first of all, you have the headline, and it has an active backlink, right? So that active backlink being live on hundreds or thousands of websites should help your SEO score with a lot, because it is perceived by search engines as something that is constantly there's something that communicates constantly with the search engine database itself. So it doesn't it helps, but and it doesn't matter if it's in the middle of the article or at the end. Hopefully that is the answer you were looking for.
Yeah, I think it was clear that they had a backlink with it, but it sounds like maybe it doesn't have a raw sponsor link attribute on it. So maybe that's encouraging the SEO benefit that you guys have seen. So that's interesting to hear that perspective. Cool.
Well,
Thanks for that. Yeah.
we've seen some results. I cannot give names, unfortunately, but we've seen some results in which, well, basically because of everything, the score went up and the monthly searches went up. And this is not because somebody uses Google or, for example, Chrome, and they use the search engine as a browser. These are real searches that went up.
Makes sense. Cool. Well, thank you for that. What's, I guess, when do you see that native advertising? Let me give you the devil's advocate question. So, like, when do you see that publishers aren't a good fit for native advertising in terms of their business model or the content types that maybe you've experienced? I mean, I know traffic is the key thing, but more when you're sort of looking towards the fit of the niche or the business model.
Well, that also depends on the advertisement themselves and the product or service themselves. But in terms of the best performance we have seen so far is when the audience is around 35 plus. That is, well, basically they have more buying power, or they are more willing to try something or learn about something or buy something on the spot. So in terms of audience, 35 plus is definitely better. But like I said, that also depends on the advertised product or service itself.
Okay, we've jumped into Q&A. SP has said, I'm new to native ads and have a niche blog. Is it possible to have a topic or specific native ad? I don't want articles about dogs, for instance. Can you control basically the placement of the ad? Like what's actually going to show up?
Yeah, well, most of the ads are contextual, right? If they are not contextual, they are about something that is hot on the market, and people are clicking on it, and it's generating a lot of traffic. Of course, if you don't want to have articles about or native advertisements about dogs, cats, or rabbits for that matter, that's not a problem. We can always filter out basically anything. It's a matter of a couple of minutes of 2 clicks. Well, 2 clicks using air quotes, of course. Yeah, but the short answer is yes, we can filter out anything you want or anything you don't want.
Is that basically sort of working with the account management team to just give them examples and sort of filter that out, or is that essentially, yeah, how does that work in terms of being able to give feedback to improve
we keep this filtering to on our end, not on the publisher's end, because first of all, I would really love to understand why and well, basically why somebody would like to filter out something or the other thing. First of all, but then I need to understand their need. I need to understand their vision about what's to come next. I need to understand what they are actually looking for, because that's when I can come up with a actual solution that is also performing while it's also acceptable by the publisher in question.
Nova has another question. He's saying, I see that many Indonesian news websites are monetized by the Geozo ad network, but or native network. But will ordinary blog sites be easily monetized? Because I hope my blog site can be monetized as well.
Well, Naval, feel free to reach out to us and have a look. Let's share some data and have a look. Most probably, yes. If you have like I said, we need quality, and this is what have it's proven to have results. Quality over quantity is far better. So if you have a quality content and a steady flow of traffic and maybe 35,000 people monthly on your website, then most probably everything is fine. If you have another niched website, let's discuss it. Let's see what your numbers are, and we can work a deal out, for your individual need.
Thanks for that, Ivo. Sorry, Ricardo, just typing the response to you now, but we'll definitely have this live on YouTube as well. A week after, we typically publish a lot of video recordings there, and also share that with you guys. I mean, sorry, a couple of weeks after, but with all the participants, we'll be sharing that within the week with our white paper with the takeaways of each of the sessions, so that you guys have a summarized view of the session plus the video itself. So to everyone that's taking part, that's our additional gift and benefit to you as well for joining us live. Awesome. I guess I have one question, is just one question as well from my end. When you're considering, you said brand awareness is the good key channel. Can you apply that for other objectives? Can you be able to sort of distinguish, for example, if they work with a native ad network or platform like Geozo, that you can say, hey, I don't want to focus on brand awareness, I want to focus on conversions, or I want to focus more on those other specific objectives. Is that something that you guys can work with to handle that? Or is that, again, like you said, it's a channel specific, outcome specific sort of formatting and optimization that you guys do?
Well, native ads are built for performance. So they are built mainly to drive leads and downloads and sales, basically. I mentioned that you can build brand awareness through them because of the fact that in general it uses a big picture of the product or service that you're providing, and then you have a headline and a short description. So even though their main purpose of native advertisement is to drive leads and sales, like even though it builds brand awareness, its main purpose is to drive leads and sales. That's why it is highly engageable. That's why people click on it. That's why some of the performance I've seen on my publishers' ends are really high, and I'm happy for them. I wish everybody was that successful. So while it can help you with the brand awareness, it is built for sales and leads.
Gotcha. So yeah, is there, I mean, is there something? Is there like a recall, or do you have any indication of the number of times typically people would view that before they convert, or is that just something that's a bit subjective based on the niche and the content that's there in terms of being able to? Because you said that, I think those statistics that you shared, that it said that 56% of people would likely convert from reading, watching, or seeing the native ad. Is there a sort of a frequency around that, or that you're aware of, or?
Well, frequency certainly matters, but on what actually and how many views does it require until it actually converts to a lead or sale? that's something that is on the sales department side, and I'm being the publisher is not necessarily in my reach. But if you need this answer, my colleagues will most probably not have any problem in sharing the information. I'm really not familiar with it. But if we have, I'm sorry. If we have anything into, like, if we can take our experience into, and if we can invite our experience into this talk, then most probably you're looking at a frequency above 5 per day until you start memorizing it and react to it.
Interesting. That's yeah. Again, everyone on the call, feel free to reach out to the team on more specific stats
Yeah,
or
more
questions around that. But yeah, I think that's good to know that. Yeah. Have you experienced brand fit? Have you experienced ad fatigue, or is there a behavior where people might eventually start skipping it, or because I know you mentioned that the best placement of the ads are more within the body of the content, but I guess given the snackable nature of people sort of scrolling through and just reading chunks of content, how do you sort of overcome that kind of reader behavior or user behavior?
If we look at from performance perspective, for example, when some ads placement is started dropping in performance in terms of click rate, for example, unfortunately, and usually is that somebody put a banner above it. So that comes within the banner blindness effect, and users ignore the banner and everything that's above it or below it. So most of the time that is the case. Now advertisers, of course, they want performance as well. So on their end, one of the best ways and how to keep fresh within people's mind is maybe change the picture or the visual. It's in this age is really easy. If you understand your audience and you know what colors they like, then maybe you use more blue or more red color in it, and that would increase your engagement on it. So in terms of performance on the publisher side, when it happens is due to a banner above it, usually. This is like 90% of the time.
Understood. No, I think that it's good to reinforce that. That's great. Cool. I think yeah, I've closed the poll, so it seems like that helped sort of summarize some of the results. So just before we leave everyone for today, I'll quickly just go through it. So we had 68% of our attendees answer the poll. So we had, as we spoke about, 55% of them over 5 years, 9% over 2 to 5, and then we had 36%, which was 2 years and under, in terms of experience. So that's pretty good to know. Maybe Ivo, just I'll ask you a question about next steps for people to get started based on both areas of experience. But we had the main reasons that people weren't adopting. Sorry, there's something I think written in Portuguese. I can't translate at the moment. Some reasons that they weren't adopting was because they don't know much about it. They couldn't drive revenue. Something SEO related that maybe it was conflicting with SEO. So maybe some of those myths that you mentioned today definitely helped. And yeah, in terms of examples, probably there wasn't much examples that people were able to share. So I think that's a good opportunity for everyone on the call. If you want to see some good examples on best units placements, then to reach out to the Geozo team. But let me just pass it back over to you, Ivo, just in terms of for people to get, okay, to two spectrums, right? Where half of attendees, they want to get started with this. What's the next steps for them to get started or to get the implementation done? And then for people who are much experience. Like you said, they're pretty much on the same level as you guys. What can they do to reevaluate whether or not something is working or not, and to also see how to better improve the performance where they currently are at?
Well, there are two ways of actually going with this. First is the most direct one is to make yourself an account on Geozo.com as a publisher. That's one of your first options right away at this very moment. The very next one is to reach out directly to me or to anybody else in Geozo and actually talk specifics and discuss the specific needs or test and trials. I would love to hear from anybody interested in or anybody that wants to discuss something. I'm really open to that. I like talking to people. I like sharing my knowledge, and while I can improve somebody's performance, well, that's what I'm here for. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, so on the flip side, for people that are already wanting to reevaluate, you're suggesting to pretty much irrespective reach out to you and see how you can help, I guess. Was the takeaway from
Exactly.
it.
Like reach out directly to us or via the info or on my email, that's evo around at geozo.com. So just feel free to reach out. I'm one email away from your answer.
Perfect. Well, that sounds good. It's pretty straightforward. So thank you for that, Ivo. And thank you for your presentation. And thanks again for Geozo for being one of our principal sponsors for the event. In terms of continuing our monetization week, tomorrow we have a panel with Gabriela Petrova, head of revenue operations at Fundrina, and with Radu Kotaresia, managing editor and co-founder of the CC Legal Matters, discussing about online and offline synergies with publisher monetization. It's going to be an interesting chat, as we had our panel, which they spoke about a lot of the different aspects that they considered to tie their content as the product with revenue, and then what some of the growth levers were for each of the online and offline, and maybe they found some synergies in between. So we want to help you to bridge that journey for you. On Thursday, we have a fireside chat about building an optimization, i.e. sales team. And then on Friday, we have the final session, the first party strategies workshop with myself. So with that, everyone, thank you so much for taking part today. We hope we can see you again tomorrow and the upcoming days ahead. And until then, have a great afternoon and great day, and speak then. See you later. Bye bye.